is kind of a mix of two units, our homeostasis unit and our living things unit. So you guys just answered a couple questions about this previously in the last set of questions we did. A pathogen. What does that mean?
Parasite and or the virus.
Or could be a bacteria. It could even be an animal. So basically a pathogen is any organism that causes a disease. So it could be a virus.
What is up with that foot?
What is it? You know what causes us?
Is that athlete's foot?
Nope. It is a toenail fungus. You ever see those commercials on TV with those little like things? Probably not. Bacteria. So, and when something causes disease, what's really happening is it's somehow disrupting how our bodies maintain homeostasis, how our bodies maintain balance. And as we talked about, our immune system helps us to fight off those pathogens like we just saw. When we get infected with some bacteria in our ear or throat or a parasite, our immune system fights against it. You know, it creates antibodies that remember that pathogen in the future. It creates white blood cells which destroy the pathogens. Our immune system is really complicated and uses lots of different tools to fight off a disease. And antibodies work. They're just tiny little proteins shaped like a Y, and they have a specific shape. And the shape of the antibody matches with the shape of an antigen that's on the pathogen. And so that's how our immune system recognizes and fights off these diseases. And we can see that here as well. We just talked about that too. Vaccines prompt our immune system to create antibodies against different pathogens. And so we just talked about this. Vaccines contain parts, dead viruses, dead bacteria, and it sort of gives our immune system a preview of what this pathogen looks like, so that when we actually get exposed to the real pathogen, then it can fight it off. Are vaccines perfect? No. So my daughter found out 2 days ago she had COVID. She got the vaccine and she got the booster. So why can people still get the vaccine and booster but sometimes still get COVID?
Not perfect.
It's not perfect, but what about COVID? What about the actual virus itself? What can happen?
Mutation.
Yeah, mutations, right? We've been naming the COVID viruses with, like, Delta was over the summer, the Delta wave. Now it's Omicron. Those are different variations because the COVID that's spreading today is different from the COVID virus that was spreading over the summer, which is different than the one that was spreading a year ago. And so these vaccines are pretty specific and they can give us some protection, but they can also, if the virus mutates, it can get around that sometimes. So vaccines aren't perfect, but they do work. And we know that when people have been vaccinated against COVID, even if they do get the disease now, the symptoms are typically milder and much lower levels of hospitalization or death.
I like the cat.
Yeah, I don't know why it's in there. All right. I'm going to skip past this. Okay, allergies. Isaiah, you answered this question last block. Allergies are caused when our immune system reacts to something that's actually not a pathogen. It's just an everyday substance. Dust in the air, or fur from a cat, or a protein that's in peanuts. For some reason, some of us, our body thinks those things are invading us, and it starts an immune response, which give us our symptoms of our allergies. Okay, let's talk quickly about the human body systems we went over. To move things around in our body, we have our circulatory system. It consists of our heart, our blood vessels that carry the blood, and then materials can diffuse into and out of our blood when they reach our lungs, when they reach our digestive system, and so forth. Okay. Don't be too concerned about the parts of the heart and those sorts of things. Our respiratory system. Our breathing, our trachea connected to our lungs, that's our respiratory system. It allows us to take in oxygen, to get rid of carbon dioxide, and Our lungs are actually made of these little air sacs, these little alveoli. They look like clusters of grapes or broccoli. And surrounding those are our blood vessels, allowing us to take in oxygen and release that carbon dioxide. Our immune system is another body system. Excretory system, getting rid of waste, includes our kidneys, which filter our blood, remove nitrogen and other compounds. Our lungs, which get rid of carbon dioxide as well. Even our skin, to some degree, gets rid of waste as we sweat. The nervous system and our endocrine system are about communication. Our nervous system communicates between our brain and our body, and from our body up to our brain, allowing us to take in information, react to that information. Our endocrine system uses chemicals, chemical messengers called hormones. We have these endocrine glands in our body, our thyroid gland, our pituitary gland, adrenal glands. They're producing these special chemicals, these hormones. They circulate around our blood, and when they interact with certain receptor molecules, they cause something to happen. Reproductive system for producing new offspring. Male and female reproductive system we talked about. There's some similarities. Both have organs that produce sex cells and hormones. The testes in men, the ovaries in females. The oviduct, remember, is where an egg cell can be fertilized by a sperm cell during reproduction. And then that embryo that grows and develops into a fetus attaches to the wall of the uterus where the placenta forms. Our muscles, our bones are involved in movement. They allow us to move from place to place, controlled by our nervous system. Our digestive system uses enzymes, acids, to break down large food molecules like the chips or the pizza you just ate into small little simple molecules, sugars, amino acids, things like that. It allows those things to get into our blood to be delivered to all of our cells. And even though those are body systems, they each have a job to do, single-celled organisms have also organelles within them that have a specific job to do. And they have equivalents to human body systems. The cell membrane allows materials in and out, allows oxygen in, just like our lungs do. The cytoplasm allows things to move around, just like our circulatory system. So there are similarities between the two. Okay. Save genetics for